Hello and welcome to the Forbes India Cover Story.
Come on, man. Is there no better way to start? This is how Simi Garewal used to start her shows.
You know, Simi Garewal is famous. People are still watching her today.
There is a reason why Rendezvous with Simi Garewal does not exist anymore.
But it's really like people still watch it.
It belonged in a different era. Those people who watch it belong in a different era. We address a different kind of audience. Let's be more snappy.
Okay.
Where is India's EV journey headed? Are we finally in 2026 ready to see that so-called tipping point where from here on an explosion will happen and every second home or third home will have an EV? I'm talking about cars here, not two-wheelers.
Yes. 2026, I don't think 2026 will be the inflection point. I mean, we have reached 7.6 or 7.8% in June, but that has to sustain for several months for us to really say we'll reach that tipping point. And it will take some time. I don't think 2026 will be the year because charging infra has to come up parallelly, and I mean, we still charging infra still lacks.
Okay. But what about all that talk about how Iran war has changed things and fuel prices have gone up, and the Tata Motors CEO said that this is the best month ever. Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah, he did.
Really crazy demand, not able to meet demand.
Yeah.
This is when EVs just go through the roof. Is that actually happening?
That is actually happening, but we've seen this before, right? When the whole thing with Ola started, we were all gung-ho on EVs and we thought that EVs will be the future, but then that pace moderated.
Yes.
So I think products have to keep up with that. Companies have to come up with cheaper products, more cars for that momentum to sustain.
And why have we put Mercedes on the cover? Why are we talking about luxury cars? Is that where EVs are more they have brighter future there than in the other segments?
Yes, of course. I mean, that's a particular kind of buyer. So these are your ultra high worth individuals or high worth, what do you call them?
High net worth.
High net worth individuals, and these guys have their own homes. They have their own charging space at home. They don't necessarily care about whether the upfront cost of an EV is much more than a petrol car. They do it they buy it for the tech that it comes with, for all the bells and whistles that it comes with.
Okay.
So that segment will definitely see their share of EVs going up much faster than mass market. What do you think?
Yeah, see, I think in luxury, most certainly, the potential is more, I would not say higher or lower, it's more certain. The luxury car buyer is far more likely to go for an electric vehicle for the reasons that you mentioned. The cost differential doesn't matter that much, charging infrastructure is not an issue. And perhaps those guys also think that they are at a position in their lives and careers where they want to make a statement. I'm the EV guy. I'm no longer the diesel guy. So that is there. But what I find interesting in this magazine is that this board member, the member of the global board of Mercedes-Benz, it's a very interesting headline. The future is electric, but when that future is, that is difficult to predict.
Are you praising your own headline?
Well, someone very intelligent must have given it. Let's not name them. That sort of encapsulates why Mercedes is looking at electric vehicles as one of the things it does, not the thing it does. Although its 2039 target remains unchanged. But in fact, I think Mercedes in India surprised a lot of people, including you and me, and we were in that meeting together, by bringing in a plug-in hybrid. What do you make of that?
Plug-in hybrid, I mean, the concept of plug-in hybrid is exciting in that you have a electric motor, and then you have the engine also. So it gets you in the habit of having to have a vehicle that needs charging while not depending on it entirely. So even if you don't sort of get to charge your car, you can still drive on your petrol or diesel. Whereas, I mean, it's different from hybrid in the sense that you have to sort of plug it and charge it, which is the exact as an EV.
But tell me something more that, for a long time, for years actually, whenever we have spoken about electric vehicles in India, it has been a lot about three-wheelers, and they have, in the big cities at least, they have pretty much taken over the roads. I mean, you hardly see those kerosene-driven
Right.
auto rickshaws
Overall,
now.
I think it's 60% now. 60%
Right.
of all.
And then two-wheelers also. Now that story is moving up to four-wheelers. That looks pretty certain now,
Yes.
even though the numbers are not huge at the moment, but it is steadily going up.
Right.
I think the trajectory is what gives everyone a lot of confidence
Yeah.
that EV is the thing to do. What still baffles me is that a lot of the global car makers, especially the supercars, the makers of supercars, they don't seem to be convinced that electric has arrived as the mainstay of the auto industry now. And we keep talking about it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing coming from Lamborghini, which was supposed to launch its first electric car, but that is not happening. The same car is coming as a plug-in hybrid
Plug-in
now.
hybrid, yes.
That is quite a statement. Lack of confidence in EVs
Yes, globally.
globally. But in India,
In India, that's not the case.
That's not the
more
case.
and more car makers. Now you have every major car maker. With Maruti launching the e-Vitara, now you have everybody in the game.
yes, is that selling a lot, the e-Vitara?
Not really, not as but they also have some production constraints. So
Okay. And what about Toyota's version of e-Vitara?
the e-Bella.
E-Bella?
I haven't really checked their numbers, but I'm
Okay.
guessing it's not a runaway hit.
Okay. But many of the others, of course, I mean, Tata Motors to a great
Tata
extent,
Motors, yes, obviously.
MG,
Mahindra are doing really
Mahindra,
well on EVs
Mahindra,
because
yeah.
they sort of had their ground up EVs instead of fitting in electric motor in a petrol car, which
Can
is
you
now Tata.
can you tell our audiences what do you mean? What is the difference when you say ground up EV?
So it's completely different platform altogether.
Uh-huh.
You make a car thinking that it's going to be an EV instead of having having a structure of an ICE car and then trying to fit, taking out the engine and trying to fit an electric motor in it. So when you have a ground up EV, you design it in a way that it will have an electric motor, and then it will not have a lot of components that a petrol car has. So design can be very different. Though
Yes.
whether it should be or not is a different topic altogether.
Yeah, in fact, that is a question worth pondering
Yes.
because as Mercedes-Benz experienced, it's what was that line called EQS, right? EQ line, and the design was starkly different from the usual Mercedes, and they decided to change that.
Yes.
It's no longer a separate line.
Yes.
Mercedes buyers want their cars to look like a Mercedes, right?
Even if you look at Mahindra now, their first two EVs looked very different from their ICE vehicles, but the latest one that they launched, I think 9S, it looks like a traditional ICE
Yeah,
car,
it does.
and it's now outselling the other two EVs.
Really, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Never quite. The eyes never reconcile to those design lines.
But it's striking. I mean, it turns heads for sure.
It turns heads. It turns heads. But, well, people want cars for different reasons. I mean, turning heads is one of the things, but you also want, just to repeat what we heard from the Mercedes guys earlier, you buy a Mercedes, you want it to look like a Mercedes. There is a reason why you are buying a Mercedes.
Right.
But speaking of Mercedes, the other interesting thing that emerged in our reportage is that even while all these, the technology debate goes on, ICE and plug-in hybrids and electric, the probable change in the market leadership does not seem to bother Mercedes.
Mercedes, yes.
Yeah, in fact, Santosh Iyer, who gave us so much time spread over quite a few meetings, he seems pretty cool actually. It's like, well, I have seen this before, this is how it happens, we are not bothered.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? Should Santosh be bothered?
I think so. BMW has taken
Uh-huh.
a big chunk of the market
Yes.
with their aggressive pricing.
Yeah.
Their EV penetration is about, I think, 26% now.
Okay.
I think you should be
Worried?
should be worried.
Okay.
Whether you should follow BMW in their strategy is a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're losing market share. You should be doing something
Yes.
to gain back.
Yes.
You can't just sit back and
Yeah.
say, okay.
But you are making a very interesting point. Just because you worry about BMW's rise, and it's driven a lot by their entry level EV,
Yes.
which is much cheaper than Mercedes-Benz's entry level EV in India. But you are saying that just because you want to respond to BMW's challenge does not mean you do exactly what BMW is doing.
Yes.
Respond you must, but you can have your own strategy which can be different from BMW's.
Which I think, to give them credit, they have been doing.
They have
gone
been doing.
on this whole drive where they keep talking about value or volumes and how
Yes.
Mercedes is trying to retain its residual values.
Yes.
It will not decontent its cars.
Correct. Santosh made another interesting point that as more and more offerings come into the market, the scenario will change to a great extent, because he said that the core of the market, and I forget the exact thing he said, but probably 60 lakh to 1.5 crore,
Yes.
which is the belly of the luxury car market. There are very few options there
Yes.
in electric. But they are bringing a lot of cars here. There are some 40 odd models lined
Globally.
up globally.
Yes.
Many of them will come to India.
Many of them will come to India.
Yeah. And he said that many of them will have an electric version as well.
Yeah.
Same model, ICE and electric.
Yeah.
That will change things. What else do we have in the issue? Well, there is Kunal Shah,
There's Kunal Shah.
never out of
Oh,
discussion.
yes. The newsmaker. You met him, right?
I met him.
How is-
He is quite a guy. As we pointed out in our interview, he's a philosophy major in a tech world.
Yeah.
And now he has taken it to another level altogether by becoming the global head of WhatsApp.
What do you make of that? What do you think is going to change at WhatsApp with him?
I think a lot of the things that WhatsApp keeps getting into, the latest being the username thing. Right. So WhatsApp has this habit of getting into a little bit of a rough thing here, a little bit of rough thing there. I think he should be able to sort that out. He's a very thoughtful guy, very, very thoughtful, not just because he studied philosophy, but otherwise also. You ask him a simple question, he tends to give very deep answers. So I think he will probably take the same approach to business decision making as well. And whatever he does will be thought through. It will not be a knee-jerk kind of thing.
On that point on hybrids, what do you make of hybrids? I'm not talking plug-in.
Yeah, the hybrid.
Hybrid. I mean,
Which don't need to be plugged in.
Hybrids were supposed to do better than EVs, at least I think, if I remember correctly, 2 years ago when EVs started slowing down. Everybody was like, hybrids is the right way to go. It is the...
Yes, and they were actually, there was a lot of buzz about hybrids, which was seen as the bridge technology between ICE and electric. I think what is not happening is regulatory support, which happened, I think Uttar Pradesh waived registration or road tax, something like that on hybrids. But I think that has changed. The Delhi EV policy does not give anything to hybrids. Whenever any major technology shift happens, be it EV or hybrid, and many other things as we have seen in the past, some sort of regulatory push is required. Now, in India, that regulatory thing seems to be firmly with EVs. So that is a battle that hybrids are not winning. And so hybrids attract the same tax levy as ICE vehicles. People who are big on hybrids keep crying about it, but that is what it is. I think that is making a lot of difference.
But do you think the government is right in the sense there's at least clarity on policy that EVs is the way you want to go, and so no incentive for hybrids?
See, the government seems to believe that India will be able to make that leap without the need for a bridge. Now, if they believe it, I'm sure they have good reason to believe that, and all the best. Let's see. All right then. Anything else to talk about in the magazine?
I think we covered everything.
Apart from the fact that you have attached my byline to yours.
What?
Trying to further your career. I didn't even want a byline with this.
Well, you went
You were the
to
one-
Bombay for this. You.
Whatever works. So on that note,
On that note,
yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Himani. It was a great issue.
thank you for the humiliation.
Thank you for all the hard work.